for clarity, you guys woke up the day after your wedding and then extended? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes, we did.
So you guys called the resort and said, "Hey, we want to stay longer,"
Yes, we
and then
did.
you switched your flights to say, "Hey, we want to stay longer."
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. So, welcome to the Desti Guide to Destination Weddings,
Yeah.
Brittany.
Yeah. I was so excited because I'm like, leading up to the planning, I've always watched the videos and it's so how did this Desti bride here plan the wedding? I'm like, okay, so you're just getting the ideas. So I'm just so excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. I felt like, I mean, clearly we've connected and you're in the community and you've done the
Yeah.
Dusty hours and the Bride Friend brunches. And it's great to, I feel like at this point I used to have to pitch brides and find them randomly in couples. And now it's just like, y'all like, all right, I'm married. It's time now. Like, let's go.
Yes.
Can I go? Like,
Yes.
absolutely. So,
Yes. And I love
um,
it. I love
yes. So I know you, but can you introduce yourself? When, where, you and your husband's name? I got checked because
it.
I said fiance to somebody that's like husband. So your husband's name.
Okay, so my name is Brittany. I got married June 5th, 2021 in
Mm.
Willemstad, Curaçao. We had a wedding of 19 guests, so it was the perfect size for us. Um, that's, we met when we're both military. Well, we're both prior military, but we met when we were both stationed over in Vicenza, Italy. So
Mm.
that was, yes, we were in Vicenza, Italy. So that's where our love story began. And we wanted to kind of keep along with our theme that it's always been a journey for us to just go somewhere. So we wanted to kind of keep with that. And he knew in my heart of hearts, I didn't really want a big wedding whatsoever. And, when we first got engaged, my parents are like, how do you have a wedding and not invite your whole family? And I'm like, I don't know, but
Easy.
we easy. But the thing is that the day we got
Funny.
engaged was the same day that we closed on our house.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh yes, 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 yes. The story.
yes,
Okay, yes.
yes, we closed. We were actually in the parking lot. We just finished closing, as a matter of fact. So he just turned around and dropped him on one knee, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was not expecting it, and it was just so. It was. I gotta send you the video for that one, but
Yes.
it just happened right then and there. And so we, just bought a house. We didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on a wedding. We wanted to have it nice. But you know how that goes. You want to have it
Yes.
nice, but you just don't want to spend all that money because it's just so much money that
Yes.
goes into it. So guess what? We're going to invite everybody. You are all more than welcome to come, but it's going to be on the island.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, so you probably know this, but I'm just gonna tell you that I know this in going through your paperwork. Because I told you I love to watch the video and I love to read everything right before I read stuff before, but
Mm-hmm.
reread. And you guys got engaged. Tomorrow will be the anniversary of that. It was December 19th.
It sure was.
Yeah, today is December
Yes.
18th.
Yeah.
So happy
I didn't even
anniversary
realize
of the
the date.
engagement anniversary. Yeah, you put
I
it
didn't
in there. I
even
was like,
realize the dates because
yeah.
I had no idea because with Christmas right around the corner and we're here, there, everywhere. I'm like, and then we're going out of town for the holidays. The dates have just kind of lost
Yes.
me. They've
So,
lost me. So
mm,
I think the planning and the pushing it back and the rescheduling, it happened for a reason.
yeah, yeah.
So it worked itself out perfectly. But yeah, we got engaged December 19th, 2019. Yes.
19. Yes. So,
Yes.
congratulations on that. Y'all got to do a
Thank
little something.
you.
Go do
I
a
know,
little
right?
something on
Now I
that.
got now I gotta tell them we gotta do
Yeah.
something.
You could use that. You knew that. You knew that. Now you can tell
Right.
them.
I do that.
So your husband is CJ.
Yes.
And okay, so you talked about, let's just look where to dig in. How did you guys decide on Curacao?
So we kind of went back and forth. Well, not we. I kind of went back and forth about the planning aspect of it. And I'm a numbers person. Well, he's more of a numbers person than I am. He's just like, it's like Jerry Maguire, show me the money. So it's like, you got to show him the money. Like, how much is it going to cost here compared to here? And so when we were like, now just pricing it out on paper, when we were close to 20,000 on paper, and we haven't even factored in a dress and officiant, photographer, videographer, florals. We were already at 20,000. It was kind of like a no-brainer for us at that point. So,
and that would be with a home wedding when you added it up with a home wedding.
Correct. So ideally, you know, we tossed around the idea loosely. About, hey, it would be really cool to go back to Italy and get married and, you know, all this and all that. But, you know, when you're talking about having a destination wedding and you know, you're trying to make it for everybody to be there, you want to make it accessible. So that was the biggest thing. And so we looked at accessibility being the first thing, where people have gone, you know, if people have been there. So we looked at the Caribbeans, and then next thing you know, we're just looking, and I was like, oh, Anguilla sounds pretty cool. But I looked at the accessibility to get there. It's
expensive too.
It's very expensive, and it's just not as easy to get there. It takes like a plane, a boat, and then
yeah.
So that wasn't going to work. So then I said, Curaçao, what's this? And I looked more, and I'm like, okay, I don't think any of our guests have been there. No one on our save the date list has been to Curaçao or even heard of Curaçao. So I was like, I think we've got a winner. And the biggest thing for us was that we don't want to go on our wedding, on our trip, and hear about what you did on the last time you were here. We don't want to hear it.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, like, ooh, we should. Last time I was here, no. We all going to explore this and experience it together. So.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. So, and that's how we kind of landed on Curaçao, and we fell in love with it. And a lot of our guests, they're like, oh my God, we've got to go back to Curaçao. I'm like, no. We got to go somewhere else now. We got to go somewhere else. But it was really a beautiful island. That was my first time going to any Caribbean island. Oh. But yes. But remember, I lived overseas. I lived in Europe for 3 years.
So you did the Europe, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not as easy to get to the Caribbean from Europe because it's very expensive. But it was really nice. The island we were at, while we were there, we did a cultural immersion tour. I think it was the day before the wedding. We had a chartered bus come pick us all up, and we just went out into the town. We had a tour guide. Then we went to the Curaçao liqueur factory, did a tour there. Then we went to like this local eatery. It's like a local eatery where there's like 5-6 different kitchens in there. You can just pick from all the local cuisines to eat.
Oh, that's such a great idea because you can really explore the island. Like I really love to experience the culture, the drinks, the food, and that was the trip for that. Oh, and that was before
the wedding.
Okay.
So I remember in another bride from brunch session, you said, one of the key pieces of advice you said was, don't obligate your guests to attending every function. Yes. Listen, I listened, so.
I love it when that happens. Oh, I love it when that happens, yes.
So what we did was, especially planning a wedding in the wake of the pandemic, so we had to make sure all chains of communication were open with everybody, and we're like, hey, this is what we plan to do. We plan to go into the town and do A, B, C, D. Please let us know if you would like to go. Everybody's like, oh shoot, well, we coming too. So we're like, okay, too easy. So we did that, and it was really beautiful. We, best time ever going into the town, and we had like one of the best tour guides ever. Helena, I think her name was Helena. She was amazing.
Okay, and you didn't have a travel agent, right?
No.
Yeah. Did you never had one at all?
We did initially.
Okay.
That was right when from the time we got engaged to right before I think everything started to shut down. So maybe I'll push it to like April, May of 2020.
Okay.
We were in communication with an agent, and we had already sent out our save the dates and everything like that. And next thing you know, pandemic happens, so resorts are shutting down, everything's shutting down, and then what happens is, this was a brand new resort also.
Yeah, what resort was it?
Dreams Curaçao.
Okay.
So it was a brand new resort, and when they were supposed to have their soft open was December 2019. No, excuse me. March 2020 was supposed to be their grand opening.
Okay.
But they closed down right before because of the pandemic. So, what happens, like all businesses, they've got to, we got to have some promotional stuff going on. And not to mention, our agent never gave us a real rate anyway. She just kind of went on to the website and just gave us the group. She just so we never had a group rate in the beginning anyway. And so when we found out that the resort was running a much better rate, and especially because a lot of our family, military or senior citizen or essential worker, there was an additional discount. So we were like calling all of our guests to say, hey, please call the resort directly and work with them. And here's the point of contact that we've been working with. And we just worked directly with the resort at that point. So it was a little hairy, but we got it done. But yeah, we did. We will ask for those discounts in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So because two things. One, I didn't even know that military discounts was a thing for resorts. So military and then senior too. Did they do that or?
Yeah. So our resort actually had military, AAA, and essential worker. So like for my brother, my brother works at a pharmaceutical company. So he was able to get a discount through that. Wow. My sister-in-law is a government employee. She's not military, but she's a government employee. So she was able to get a discount there. So our guests were able to see some kind of discount on their trip.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. See, yeah, you I already know you have so many tips to share, but already you're teaching me too. So you taught me something else too. We're going to talk about it with the tour.
Okay.
Anyway. But okay. So because you didn't do like a room block, everybody handled it. Actually, so you had 19 guests. What did you originally invite? Do you remember how many guests got invitations?
I think, okay. So two things. One, we never really sent out formal invitations. We actually just sent out. Yeah, I was a little risky. So we never really did that. And that was a big chunk of my stress, has come to find out. But two, we did the save the dates. And I think we sent off remember, before everything shut down, we sent off maybe about 100 save the dates for a destination wedding. What's
her name?
Olivia.
Olivia want to say hi, clearly.
She does. Well, Stead's outside washing the car, so she's
okay.
Okay. So she's about to go to her room if she doesn't stop it. Go to your room.
She knew what you said.
She knew what I said. But yeah, we originally did 100. It's like somewhere between 100 to 120 save the dates. Okay. And we did them in cute little boxes with a card and luggage tags. So that was our save the date. And so we just kind of had to keep track of,
who
we
did.
had a log. Yes, I had a log of everything. And I would call the customer service person who we told everybody to contact. And, him and I would just have syncs to just say, hey, how many guests are you tracking for our wedding now? How many guests are you counting now? So that's how I kept the most accurate log. And it worked for them too, because if you start to go through you have some people that use the resort, or some people go through somebody else, a third party, the resort doesn't have accurate count of who's with your party.
Okay.
So it worked out perfectly.
Okay. So did you ultimately have a certain number of people and then COVID hit and it was less, or how did that?
It was a lot less than I thought.
Okay.
So, like I said, I thought we were going to have a lot more people, but in the end, I'm very grateful for the crowd that we had, because I could see, like, I remember you texting me on the day of the wedding, just saying, "Hey, good morning. It's your day. Just take time to enjoy the moment." And my cousin, who got married, I think about 7 years ago in Jamaica, she said, "Hey, what you do is the morning of the wedding, go to the spa." So I booked a 3 spa treatment for my mom and I, just to relax and just to, just to have that time. And it worked out perfectly for us because I was so relaxed. And my girlfriends and I, we went to the beach just to go swim. And
Okay, what time was this wedding?
the wedding was at 5 p.m.
Okay, so you had a little bit of time to.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like noon. By the time I went on the beach, it was like noon, and we were just having a blast. And then I was like, okay, that's when they called me and said, "Hey, it's time for makeup." And I'm like, okay, let's go do makeup now. So
Okay.
everything worked itself out perfectly.
Yeah, I love it. Did you use all of the vendors that the resort recommended, or how did your vendors work out for you?
We did. We did take our photographer with us.
Okay.
That was one thing that I love that we did. Because again, looking at the numbers, had we used their photographer plus an additional 6 hours, we would have had 2 photographers, but the cost would have equaled out to be the same if we just took the photographer out there with us for 4 days, 3 nights.
You did the full time too. You could have shortened that and did like, oh wait. So wait, that's why you had professional photos during your excursion.
Yep, because we had the photographer with
I
us.
was wondering about that. I'm like, these photos are crispy. These are really good.
Yes.
Okay. So you know what you was doing.
Deshaun Rhodes Photography in North Carolina.
Shout out. Hey,
yes.
Deshaun. Hey, Deshaun.
He is amazing. But when I first got in touch with him, I emailed him because I think by this point, it was like early April. And I'm like, I hope this man is not booked. And I said,
This is
"Hey,
April 2021.
Yes, April 2021.
Okay.
I know. Look, I was a little clutch on that one. But
it worked out, so.
It did. I emailed him and I just say, "Hey, are you available between June 3rd to June 5th, June 6th? And he said, "I'm available, but you gave me a window of days." So I had to call him because I'm like, "Hey, I gotta go ahead and lock you in if you're available." So he called me back and he said, "Yeah, I saw your email. I just didn't get a chance to respond, but I see you gave me a window of dates. Is that open or is that what?" I said, "No, it's a destination wedding and this is where we're going." Oh my God. He said, "Brittany, I am pacing in my living room right now." So he was so excited to come and just be there the whole time. So that's how we had all those photos. That was a lot of brides say, don't skimp on photography.
That's real.
And that was one expense because had we only had, with the resort provided, we only would have had that one day and whatever people took on their camera phones, and it's not going to be as nice. It's not going to, we want to be able to capture the moment and put all these photos in, a book or whatever. And
yeah.
So yeah, it worked out perfectly.
And it worked out, like you said, it was the same price. So the resort photographer would have been that for one day versus you bringing and then being able to have your whole weekend memorialized, So, oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I would say to all Desti brides, if you can, if you could work it in your budget, if you can skimp on something else, that I would take the photographer. My one regret is that at the last minute, we woke up that morning, and I woke up that morning, we were like, we gotta go back to America. It's time to go home. And he said, "You want to stay another day?" I said, "Yep." So we stayed another day. So my one biggest regret is that we didn't change the photographer's flight to leave the same day we left.
So give them an additional day.
Correct. Because we actually went back into the town to what's called Mondo Beach, which is a nice little area for all the locals. And it was like a whole big beach party theme they had going on. And we ate at one of the restaurants. And then the guys went off and found this cigar lounge. And, they were just mingling. And, the owner of the cigar lounge opened up the souvenir shop downstairs for us. And so, yeah.
Oh.
Yes, like I don't know how this happened, but they had it was a whole vibe. But we had a really great final dinner before we actually left that Monday. So
Okay.
it yeah, so we had a great time, and that's my one thing is that we should have planned for him to come for the entire time that we were there because he came the next day after we got on ground, which that didn't bother me because that gave us time to work with the resort, work with the planner from the resort, and just tighten up anything else before everybody came in. But
Okay.
but I wish I would have had him stay that extra night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for clarity, you guys woke up the day after your wedding and then extended? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes, we did.
So you guys called the resort and said, "Hey, we want to stay longer."
Yes, we
And
did.
then you switched your flights to say, "Hey, we want to stay longer."
Absolutely,
I love it.
absolutely.
I love it. You didn't get any, like the airport, the airlines did they do you dirty? Because I know they can kind of.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Oh,
We was
COVID. I feel like probably because of COVID, you can do a whole lot of shifts and
you could do a
changes right
whole lot.
now.
Yes, yes. Plus, we being that it was international, Jamel is said he's actually very, very cognizant of okay, let's make sure we put some insurance on these flights so that if we want to move stuff around, we can move stuff around and we don't have to,
And
you know,
who?
said. I'm
Oh,
talking about
okay.
sorry.
Oh, so you're like me with Doug and Chase. So he's all of the
Yes,
things.
I
Okay.
should.
All right.
And people be like, hold up, you just gave me three different people. And
I
I'm
do the
like,
same thing. So I get it. Okay.
yeah. But he did put insurance on our flights to where we can kind of move around without having to feel like we have to jump through these burning hoops of fire and
Yes.
take an act of Congress, the blood of the Virgin Mary to get these flights to go in our favor. But
Oh.
it worked out perfectly that we stayed an extra day and his sister, she stayed an extra day with us. So we were just like, we just wanted to be able to enjoy everything for another day.
I love it. You're awesome. So let's dig into. I know that you did some really great things with your welcome packages. You were able. This was my lesson learned. My first lesson learned from you. And I've been saying I'm going to share this tip, and I'm going to share it. But for now, it's going to originate where it needed to originate from, which is your mouth. So,
Oh, thank you.
what did you do?
Okay, so originally, and I left the bags downstairs, and I forgot to bring the bags upstairs. Originally,
I have pictures though. So,
okay. Originally, we had planned. I had ordered these white and gold welcome bags from Amazon, and so I said, "Well, something just told me." I said, "I know that there's like a tourism office for Curacao, so let me just do some." Again, we in the middle of this pandemic, so I got to research everything. So I'm looking, and then sure enough, there's a tourism department for North America that's in Miami. So I emailed the group box and said, "Hi, I'm having a wedding in Curacao." Now they only had online these digital booklets, and I said, "Well, surely if they're digital, there
they
must
gotta
be
have.
they got to have a print. It must be sitting in somebody's supply closet, storage closet, or whatever." So I'm like, well, maybe I can just get them to just send me the booklet because it was 84 pages of a booklet. I'm like, I'm not printing that up. And it's in color. I'm not printing that up. So I emailed, and the lady was like, "Hey, how many do you need?" I said, "Well, the wedding's going to be, at the time," I said, "Well, let me just get extra. Can I have 25 of the booklets?" And so she said, "Okay, not a problem, Brittany. I'll send you the booklets, but I'm gonna, dig around, see if I see anything else, and I'll send you some, whatever else I can find." I get this huge box in the mail probably about a week later, and I have those booklets that are in color. Then I have these one-page flyers, sunglasses, luggage tags, a map of the island. And then these cute Curacao bags. Yeah. And I'm with the Curacao bags compared to our Amazon welcome bags. And I'm like, okay. And we use those, and then our not the travel agent, our wedding planner, because her and we were talking all 2020, and I realized for most destination weddings, you really don't get like in the nitty gritty of working with your planner until you're like within your 3 to 6 month window.
Yeah.
But see, I'm such a planner, and my anxiety, I'm like, I should be doing something. And so she's like, Brittany, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. So her and I built this rapport and this relationship to where I would just email her and just text her about everything. And I'm like, hey, can you give me stroop waffles? And so she got me these little stroop waffles. And
what is a stroop waffle?
So a stroop waffle is like a little flat. It's like a little. It looks like a waffle, but it's flat, and it's like a little. It's not a pastry per se, but
is it kind of like a cracker, sort of?
It's kind of sort of not like
or cookie, kind of cookie sort of thing.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah, it's like a cookie, but it's like a waffle, and then it has like a little caramel filling on the inside. It's like one of their. It's like one of the. I'll say it's like a something
the local.
It's a local delicacy. So, but it's like a nice little dessert that they're known for over there. So I said, hey, can you please pick me up a thing of stroop waffles? So I had ordered these bags off of Etsy. That said midnight snack, and then I just put the stroop waffles in the little midnight snack bag. And my sister-in-law made hangover kit bags for me with our names on the back of it. So it said in sickness and in health on it, and it's everything you need for a hangover. And that was the welcome. That was the welcome bag for everybody.
So wait, Dreams, the planner at Dreams went and got you stroop waffles?
Yes, she did.
Oh my gosh! Shout out. Okay, Dreams Curaçao. All right.
Yes, when I tell you that resort, like, you know,
and they were new too. So
they were very new. Yeah, but she's been in the planning business for a very long time. But
you remember her name?
Ursula. I love me some Ursula. But everybody at a resort, they're always gonna, put their best foot forward. But I would say at Dreams, they took it one step further and made it more personable. So where it wasn't just, your name is, they said how, so they would actually just talk to you and have a conversation with you. And it was so personable. And it's like, wow, like and that's, I think, for a lot of people, what made a lot of our guests not want to come back. And they're like, I really would like to come back here because of the warmth.
Service, yeah.
Warmth they felt when they were there.
Yeah, I love that. So, yeah, I love Aruba. And, like the ABC, it's Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao. Never been to Curaçao, but first of all, your photos, which will be in the show notes. So make sure if you're listening or watching, you get that link in the description because there's always more. So we'll have photos and all of your details and all that good stuff. Plug. DESTILAND. Yeah. But your photos show the island, which is like something that I haven't been able to have, because you got those photos for your excursions. You were able to really share some things, and I was like, oh, okay, all right,
yeah.
Right, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that you did that. I remember when you sent me on Instagram the DM of that tip, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is genius.
And it was all free.
That's the thing. Like, yeah.
Because, when you're planning, that wedding, you got to, watch your pennies, and you're not trying to invest a whole lot in a welcome bag.
And those can add up when you're trying to quickly.
Very quickly. And for him and I, we're like, okay, well, if we're going to put together a welcome bag, let's make it useful stuff that people can, use. You're on an all-inclusive resort, hey, you're going to need some Advil to nurse that hangover, or, or you might just want to snack. You don't feel like waiting for the resort you don't feel like waiting for food to come, room service to come up, or, you may want to just go off on your own, So everything we put in our bag was useful.
Yeah, I love that. I love your bags. So, yeah. So how did you pack? Because those had to go in something in addition to everything. So how was your packing, traveling situation?
So I took my dress and my suitcase. He took his tux, his suitcase, our welcome kits. We did our centerpieces, little odds and ends stuff. We mailed that stuff ahead. We went to FedEx. And
so the welcome and all that stuff, you shipped it. Yes, let's talk shipping too, because I'm a little skeptical about the shipping. So tell us how, because you did this in advance, it was a whole thing. So all the tips you can give on shipping, please.
Okay, so the shipping was actually very, very expensive. very, very expensive. But what I will say is allow yourself enough time to do all of your shipping. You need to make sure you have all your customs forms filled out. Make sure everything is kind of self-explanatory to where, if it gets scanned, that customs doesn't have any questions, because that's the biggest part, because our welcome kits actually got held up in customs because of the hangover kits. Because I said, I was so generic. And the person at the counter, when I went to the store to ship it, she said, just write medicine. I didn't think to say Advil or ibuprofen.
Specifics.
Yeah. And so it got stuck. And, our vases delivered, all that delivered. I'm trying to think. We had
was it multiple boxes that you sent?
Yeah,
or
I had like 3 or 4 boxes. That big welcome sign that we had to go ahead and ship that ahead. Yeah. But it was the hangover kits that got held up. And so here I am, I'm on the phone with FedEx. I'm like, this is all it is. I'm taking pictures because we had extras. So I said, this is all it is. It's just this. And they were like, well, we got to send it to a doctor and a lab and this and that. And I'm like, for what? It's just over the counter. It's over the counter. I don't understand. And then, after a few phone calls, they're like, okay, we're releasing it. So it got released right before Memorial Day. So it was like probably about 2 weeks before Memorial Day. So the timing worked out as far as when we shipped it.
Now, when did you ship? Because roundabout when?
I think it was early May we shipped, because I timed it out, and I've already called at this point. When I shipped it, I had already called the 1-800 number just to, do the cost estimate and the shipping estimate, the time and transit estimate. And they're like, well, if there's no hangups in customs, it can deliver within a few days. And I'm like, okay, cool.
So you did a month in advance, a roundabout, just to be safe.
Correct. So but that was the biggest thing. It was when you're doing those customs forms, and if you're actually going to ship it ahead of time, I would actually pick the customs forms up first, so you can already have those filled out before you go to the counter. Because by the time you get to the counter, you don't feel like sitting there waiting. It's already ready to go. You can.
And what company did you use to ship?
FedEx.
Okay.
And I think that's just because when I was quoted over the phone, I think their rate was a little bit better than UPS. And
that's usually the case, by the way, too. I've come to find out that UPS is quite expensive. They can be. So
yeah. So that's why we have one with FedEx. But it was I would definitely say pick those customs forms up ahead of time, and because after a while you're talking about a hand cramp, and you don't feel like you like I said, I look, medicine, and I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Well, that worked out. So finding your gown, because your gown is beautiful, all of your things. How did you go about that? And also, wait, because when did you guys move to it? Were you already in the Atlanta, the Georgia area? Because you're in Georgia, right?
So
Augusta. You're in Augusta?
We're in Augusta.
So I want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, which is you, the Desti Lovers community. To every single member of the Desti Lovers community, I want to thank you for making the show what it is. I'm so happy to have a place where all of my Desti Bride friends can meet and discuss all things Desti. The Desti Lovers community is an extension of the show and is your safe space for sharing and collaboration while planning your destination wedding. So here's what you can look forward to. The Desti Hour live Q&As, episode discussions, deep dives, bride friend brunch connections, giveaways. What else? Oh, and of course, the hours and hours of replays from all of the tutorials and the Desti Hour calls. So yeah, the Desti Lovers community is it. So get in the Desti Lovers community. I will see you in there. But for now, let's get into this interview.
When we closed on our house, we just moved to Augusta from Northern Virginia.
Okay.
But I went to one bridal shop. I wasn't ready to commit to that place. I wasn't ready to commit to a dress. I couldn't commit to it just because I felt lukewarm about it. My mom was like, well, if you feel lukewarm about it, then just wait. And then she was like, well, I actually kind of want to say yes to the dress. And my dad was like, yeah, y'all aren't going to New York next. And I was like, well, I'm only 2 hours from Atlanta, so just come down here and we'll shoot to Atlanta and go to Lori. Bridals by
Bridals
Lori.
by Lori.
Yes. So I asked my mother-in-law to come, and she, she was so excited to come because I needed, I wanted that honest opinion. And then, I wanted to keep it small because I've seen the show, and you know how they have these big groups, but at this point,
all the opinions and
yes,
all of the
I didn't want,
things.
there you go. I didn't want all that, but at this point, Bridals by Lori, they had, because of COVID, they were only allowing like 4 people plus the bride. So
that's a good number, actually.
yeah, which I think in moving forward, that might actually should remain in place because of all the opinions and, it shifts really quickly. But, then the morning of, so my in-laws are here at our house. My mom and dad were here at our house. So the morning of, my dad was like, well, I'm coming too. And I was like, well, Dad, it was really just going to be the 3 of us. And he was like, well, I'm paying for it. I said, oh, well, you need to, come on.
Why you always start with that? Leave with that.
Right. Well, you need to come on. So, oh, okay. So this is CJ. CJ, this is Omi.
Hi, CJ. Congratulations. It's so nice to meet you. And by the way, your hat, tux, your suit, the 3-piece situation.
Yes.
Seriously.
Oh,
You did that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was Bespoke out of Atlanta.
Oh my gosh. Such a great job. So
Yeah.
You look so good in that. It fit you so well. Like I've showed it to my husband and he's like, that's fitted. Like that fits perfectly.
So Omi and her husband just moved to Atlanta. So if your husband is into custom suits, his name is Omar, and he is
by appointment only.
By appointment only. He is right there in Atlanta.
Is that the bespoke? It's right here, couture.
Yes.
Well, this is what you.
Yes, he's right. He's not far from the Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to
find it. I can find it.
You gotta
get okay.
But he does custom suits.
He did a great job. So yeah. So thank you for saying hey.
No problem.
No, yeah, he did that. Like that was really really nice.
Did. So
we know how he found his. So back to you. So your dad said, "I'm coming."
But yeah, we tried on. So one of the things I wanted was I wanted a convertible gown. Mm-hmm. That was one thing I wanted because I wanted to be able to dance. But I kept getting stuck on the fact that I wanted a jumpsuit, but I'm short. I'm 4'9.5". So jumpsuit probably would have shrunk my height, whereas I got to kind of stay with something a little more fitted. And so we tried on a few gowns, and my mother-in-law she kept, checking on my dad and was like, next dress, Brittany. Okay, Brittany, go back to dress 1. Because dress 1, I felt like it was it. And I said, well, how you know that he doesn't like it? He said, because he hasn't lifted his head up out that phone. He looks and he goes back in the phone. Go back in the phone.
Your dad?
Yes, my dad. And so then when we tried it back on, and they take you out on the runway, and because at this point we were kind of in the back by ourselves, and we went out to the light, and then they jacked me up, and I was so excited because I was like, yeah, I want to be jacked up. And so, but they put everything on me, the veil, and then I think once they were all able to see the bigger, see everything together, they were like, that's the dress.
Your dad looked up? Did he look up?
Yeah. Yes, because at this point we were already out on the showroom floor.
Right.
And I knew enough to know I did not want a traditional color. I did not want a traditional white. I like to push the envelope. But
yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. So I just wanted to be able to, we looked at it all, and it was really pretty in the end. But did
it come with the overskirt, or did you add that?
It came with the overskirt.
Okay.
So with the veil, the only thing we did differently with the veil was my mother-in-law had suggested to put rhinestones in the veil because the overskirt had all the jewels on it. So we wanted to bring some of the jewels from the skirt to the veil. Okay. So we had that up there. Then I think with the earrings that they tried on, that I had tried on for the fitting, they actually made that a back. And then they made the combs on the veil to where it wasn't going to hurt my locks because it needed to get in. So that's what.
So you got your gown at Bridals by Lori.
Yes, I did.
I did too.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. I completely forgot that you did. So yeah, I did. Yeah, Flo was mine. Shout out to Flo. Flo did her thing.
Flo was mine too.
Ah,
I
wasn't
requested Flo because I
she?
was
Isn't
like,
she? Me too.
she was awesome. And
Yeah.
then, Robin came out, and then I had Olivia with me now. Olivia was at the appointment also. And
Olivia came.
Yes, she was. So when I heard Lori's voice, I almost had an out of body experience. I'm like, oh my God. And my dad was like, what? Who's that? I said, it's Lori. Like, what do you mean? Who is that? It's Lori. Like, where have you been?
Yeah. I got a picture with her, and she definitely. I had a very emotional moment. I probably talked about it on the Black Desti diary, but she helped me through the whole thing and was like, it could have been an episode. So
yeah,
yes, shout out to Bridals by Lori. They're amazing.
Yes,
so,
they were great.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And where exactly did you get married at Dreams? Like, had you thought about because I cared nothing about my gown. Like, is it appropriate for my venue? Did you think about that at all, or nope?
I did not. I did not. Because I was like, my gown's gonna make this. It's gonna enhance this over here. It's not. I'm not catering my dress to where we're going. Now, was it a heavy gown to lug through the airport? Yes, it was.
And you're little, you 4.
Yes, I'm over here shifting, and Jamel's like, "Here, you carry my suit. I'll carry your gown." He's like, "Oh my God, this is heavy." I'm like, "I know." And then once he saw it, he was like, I see why it was so heavy.
Oh, okay.
That was so heavy.
Yeah.
But I loved it. So my goal is to get it framed.
I love that.
I want to frame it, but I gotta get my dream closet to be able to do some framing and stuff.
Yeah, my thing is like my dream closet is big enough for me to be able to put mine on a bust and then like have like a little glass box or something, or just I don't even need the glass box, but I just need it on a bust to be able to just be in my closet, like in a corner. That's where, that's
because I loved your gown. Because I was at my fitting. Because we went to a local seamstress to do my fittings and everything, and I was talking to my sister-in-law. And I was like, maybe we can kind of like take some fabric out here to where we can cinch it in here. And she's like, Brittany, that's not how this dress was designed. This dress is designed to fit how it's designed to fit.
Right.
And so she's like, don't gain any more weight. And I'm like, oh my.
Be like, do what I needed to do. Okay. Yes. Do what I needed. No, if it was beautiful. So
yes, thank you.
Of course. You did amazing. So you shipped your stuff. I'm trying to think, like, how did you have a bridal party?
No, we did not. We did not have a bridal party. No rhyme or reason as to why we didn't have a bridal party. It was a small wedding. So if we had 19 guests and, I said, hey, let's have 10 bridesmaids, who's sitting out in the crowd?
Exactly. So, yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely.
But, and I remember how you said about you and your husband, y'all are at a great age to where y'all feel like, everybody, around y'all is in the community of being a man of a best man or a woman of honor,
Yeah.
And for y'all, it just wasn't needed. And I was like, you know what? We have our support system. I just kind of didn't need it,
Yeah, just be there. So
just be there. Yeah. I did have my friend Stephanie. She was my flower girl, my adult flower girl.
Oh.
Yes. Shout out to Stephanie. She when I tell you, this girl did a twirl and she leaped, like no kidding, leaped down the aisle. And it was the cutest thing ever. And I'm like,
she said, I'm about to do this. I ain't never been a flower girl, and I'm about to get all of this flower girlness.
For all of, I've known Stephanie for about 10 years because we were stationed at Fort Riley together. And, she always said, I just want to know somebody who's getting married. I just want to be a flower girl. And then, finally I said, hey, you're going to be the flower girl. And she was like, okay. And she was fine leading up to everything. And then she was like, I think we were like 30 days out from the wedding. She was like, Brittany, I think I'm really getting nervous. I'm really getting nervous for my big debut.
This is big for me. This is really big for me.
Yes. So she was just like, I'm really getting nervous. And I'm like, Stephanie, just throw the flowers and then go sit down. Just throw the flowers and go sit down. It's fine. She's like, but I just want to do this right. I said, Stephanie, however you throw the flowers, that's how you throw the flowers. And she just went with it. And she threw, she twirled, and she leaped, and she twirled some more. And then she took a bow. I can't even remember if she took a bow. But she did it.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to turn me down at this point. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even know if you can hear her, but I'm going to turn my volume down just now. Oh, I love her already. We're going to have her in when I have my little bride friend round up, how to be a bride friend, because,
that is a bride friend right there, because also, I remember when you were, I hate to fast forward to the reception, but just.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about Stephanie, I remember you saying how your husband made y'all's playlist.
Yes.
For the wedding. So, Stephanie is a music junkie. She loves music. She doesn't listen to just one genre. She listens to everything. So I say, hey, Steph, this is what I need from you. I need you to make me a playlist. And when I tell you she had a playlist of, 60s, 70s, she had everything. She had salsa, bachata. She had twerk. We had some club. We had everything on that playlist. We had some. She did that, and to show that she did such a good job, you can even look at the DJ. You're looking at the DJ, and he's like, "Okay."
Oh,
okay. He was like, "Oh, he didn't know." And my brother took the microphone, and he started to, be the hype man of the event, but we had a blast at the reception.
I love that. So when it came to decorating, how did you come up with your ideas for the reception space and the ceremony space?
So everything was outdoors. We used what the vendor had sent as far as the one floral arrangement. I didn't want to invest too much money in flowers because they're gonna die. And I've noticed that even with the resorts, they're gonna kind of inflate those costs a lot. So we didn't want to spend that money. So that's why we came up with the idea to make our arrangements here stateside and just send them ahead. So we just went to Joann's, and if you've ever been to Joann's, they have the Real Touch flowers. So so it looks real. So we just had a single calla lily in water. We went to the Dollar Tree, got the clear marbles, put those at the bottom with the submerged, with the submerged light and one floating candle, and that was the centerpiece.
Yeah, they were very simple but very pretty. Yeah,
and that was it. And it was, I would have rather having spent that money that we did spend versus spending, hundreds of dollars on centerpieces. And we wanted to keep it really, really simple, really clean, because you have to pay attention to your background. You've got to pay attention to your surroundings. Your surrounding is beyond. So you don't want to have too much because it's going to overpower.
Yeah, everything. We're in Curaçao. We're here. Yeah. So don't forget we're in Curaçao. Yeah.
Right. And truth be told, I'll never forget, I think you said it and a couple of other Desti brides said it. Your guests don't care about these centerpieces. I cared about these centerpieces, but once it started to sprinkle on us. Started to sprinkle on us right before we were eating dinner. So it's like right after we did our toast, but right before, it's like between toast and dinner, it started to sprinkle. So what do? In true Brittany fashion, let me grab my wine, let me grab my gown, and my new husband. We're going under this awning over here. So everybody, we just picked up everything and we just moved in under the awning very quickly, and the staff moved us that quickly. But we were still outdoors.
Yeah, and that worked out nicely because you have a smaller party too, so you guys could. Yeah. If it was the party of 70 or something, then you need that plan B. But yeah,
right. It worked out so perfect that we were able to do that. And then even when we were done with dinner, we just kind of move those tables out the way. We were so informal with it. We're like, move those tables out the way, create our dance floor. And we were just as content as we wanted to be, and that was just our thing. We didn't know it was going to rain. And that was another reason why we chose Curaçao, because a lot of people don't, but it is outside of the hurricane belt. So the precipitation is low, especially in the month of June. Now like I said, I'm a planner, so I'm planning this a year in advance. I'm like, yep, precipitation is low. Precipitation is going to be low. It's not going to rain. It's not going to rain. And sure enough, it was like off and on sprinkles.
Yeah.
And like, we're not about to sit out here in the rain. That's what we're not about to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a little something. You got through the good part. I feel like really, as long as it doesn't rain at the ceremony, you tend to be okay. Because at that point, cocktail hours happen, the drinks are flowing, the music is playing, and it's food. It's just the fun time. So wherever it is, you can do that. The ceremony is like the sacred space. Please don't rain on me while I'm saying my I do's. Don't do me like that.
Right. But I don't. Well, of course, I don't remember cocktail hour. We weren't at the cocktail hour because we were doing all of our photos. But we did, Jamel's.
Hey, that's his name. Yes.
Yeah. He picked out the menu for all of the food. He's a foodie. He did do culinary for a little bit, so he picked out the entire menu for food. And then I had said, hey, we're gonna get the steel band trio to play during the cocktail hour. So we had the steel band trio in addition to having the DJ. And, at first my mom and dad were like, this sounds expensive. I said, no, the package comes with one or the other. We're going to have the steel band trio. We're going to have the DJ, add him for 2 extra hours, and then we're going to just pay for the steel band trio because that works out to be cheaper. But I said, well, it works out best because, you don't want to hear the same music. After a while, you don't have a variety of music. You're playing recycled songs. And so I said, plus it gives people more culture. Yeah.
No, that's real. That's a really, really good point too. So speaking of budget, what was your budget?
We kept everything.
What did it?
We kept everything under $15,000.
That's awesome. And so I know that your dad paid for the gown. Did your parents help, or did you guys save, or how did that really break down?
Our parents did help. They paid for the gown. They paid for the photographer. We did save.
Yeah.
We did save quite a bit. We did try to pay out of pocket for a lot of stuff as best as we could, because we were not taking, we've heard of people, no knocks to people who've done it, but we're not taking out, him and I are not taking out a loan for a wedding. That's what we're not doing. So we tried to pay out of pocket, paying cash for as much as we could, which we did. Okay. When it came to like flights, we had like one of those cards where you can book your flight on a card so you can get the points, the mileage points. So we did that, but we paid out of pocket for a lot of our stuff. But we saved.
Yeah.
It worked itself out perfectly. That I've been saying that this whole video. But
it did. Girl, it was perfect.
But it did. We saved. We did save. But we tried to pay out of pocket quite a bit.
Okay. And for just back to the way that you guys booked rooms, 2 questions. One, with your guests, did they, because they went through the resort, did they get to make payments, or did they just pay up front?
They could make payments all the way up until 2 weeks before their arrival date.
So it was the same idea as you getting a room block. They allowed them to make payments still.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
And that I actually like, because we kept everybody going to the same person.
Right.
Because and that helped me keep accountability of everybody and who's all coming. Because like I said, going back to everything, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I have to know who's coming, because I think it was the beginning of May, we created a group chat for everybody who was a confirmed guest to say, hey, download. Curacao ended up creating their own app, because of the pandemic. So you know where to go. If it's an emergency, this is who you call. And it told you like all of your entry requirements. So then, we, gave people information every week. So we told them, hey, you need to work on your digital immigration card. We told them how to access their digital immigration card. You need to do your COVID test no later than this. If you're leaving, and we broke down the dates too.
Yeah.
As far as if you're leaving on this day, because we had to do, what was it, babe? We had our COVID test. We were leaving like right before. Yeah, it was like within 3 days at the time, and it was right before Memorial Day also. So we had to factor Memorial Day. So we did that. We also had, it was another document, but when we got to the airport, there were 3 pieces of paper, 3 documents that you needed to present to the ticket counter, and
Okay.
they were not issuing tickets unless you had those 3 documents. So we, told people, hey, when you get to the airport, make sure you have these 3 documents in hand. So we kept people apprised of all information. We're like, hey, when you get to the airport in Curaçao, this is who you look for, because we made sure we chartered transportation for our guests to get to and from the resort, because the resort didn't have shuttle. So we did that on our own.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I love that. So what did Curacao have? So Curacao required you to have a negative COVID test prior to entry?
Yes, it was, I'm trying to think of all the requirements.
Probably like 3 days or something like that.
3 days. You had to have a negative COVID test within 3 days. A digital that was day 3 of being on the resort. You had to have an antigen test day 3 of being on the resort to leave country.
Okay.
But get in, you had to have the digital immigration card, the COVID test, and there's one more document. I can't remember, but it was something else that you had to have.
Okay.
And I can't remember. It's going to bother me, and I'm going to figure it out. It was the travel. Yeah, it was the passenger locator card. It was the passenger locator card, because you had to upload your COVID test to this portal. So you have to have all 3 of those documents, and we're telling people, hey, yeah, we understand that you uploaded your documents, but
bring them with you. Yeah.
But a lot of people, they were like, oh my God, thank you so very much for creating the group chat, because had you not told me, I wouldn't have known, and I would have just showed up at the airport. And we're like, no, because your feelings would have been hurt at that airport, because they were not issuing tickets without those documents.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's when we went to Grenada last month, it was a lot of things we had to do and make sure of too. And it had me thinking about weddings, and I'm going to get Shay to do a video. We haven't done a little group video, a couple video in a while, but about that, because it was the travel authorizations and the Verify app. And then we had to quarantine once we got there for 2 days and like it was a lot. Worth it fully. And then once you're there, everyone has been through that, right? Like that's like the piece that's great. That once you're there, everyone has had to have their negative COVID test. They all have everything that they need to. So, so good. Yeah, it's a lot of hoops, and it sounds like your guests were all down for it, and you took great care of them.
Yes, they were. And now I'm the person that's gonna make limoncello out of lemons.
Okay.
But, if you had tested positive for COVID while you were in Curaçao, the resort would have put you up in a room for free. So that's not a bad thing.
You'd be sitting in the room, but at least you in the room. You get free room service too. Yeah.
Yeah, you still care. But everybody was actually really fortunate that we were, sharing the information. They knew, where to be, how to be. They was like, we left no room for any unanswered questions.
I love that. Did the resort at the time pay for the COVID test to return home?
Yes, they did.
I love that. Yeah, I know that's that's changing now, because it's kind of more of a, I think it's lasting longer than they expected. So they're like, all right, now we can't be paying for everybody COVID test.
Right.
So
they had a team that would come out at the resort once a day to do their testing. So
that's cool. Awesome. So I appreciate your time, and I'm so glad that we could finally do this.
Yes.
So I know you've been bursting with information. So got a couple questions. What is the best advice and the worst advice about destination weddings that you have received?
Best advice is have come on.
What do you say? Come on in.
Be patient.
Okay.
And what was the worst?
Worst advice.
I need
to not do anything. Just think you're gonna show up. That'd be the worst advice.
What is it?
To just show up. That's probably the worst advice, because you have to plan it out.
Oh, especially for a groom. So I love hearing you say this. I need you explain this a little bit more, because many grooms think, oh, I'm just going to show up and it's on, it's just going to be what it's going to be. So
now you got to help plan it, because if you don't help plan, you'll be lost. Like you'll be there and it's like, okay, now what do I do? Where do I show up at? What's my time? You know?
Because I was getting so frustrated, because when we went on the culture immersion tour, my brother decided to go run off to go get a picture. Now, mind you, my brother was already on the island 2 days before. Him and his wife were already there 2 days before we got there. And they're like, oh, well, we were waiting for you guys to come so we can go get this painting. And I'm like, what? We already had to shorten the trip, that day trip down, because we had to be back at the resort to do the antigen test.
Right.
So they decided to take like 20 minutes to go get a picture, and it took 3 people to go get one teeny tiny rolled up canvas picture. Jamel's like, let's go. We're all leaving.
It worked out because
he knows the timing, so you're like, yeah, no.
It worked out for us though, because we were able to eat the local food instead of going to a somewhat chain restaurant.
Right.
So that worked out better.
Oh, I love that. So CJ, what did you enjoy playing the most? Like, what was your thing outside of your outfit? We already know that. So
that was my best one. I would say make sure she had everything, because sending stuff from here to over there, she would be frustrated, and it was like, it'll get there. You're sending it early, so that way if anything does come out or doesn't go as according, we have time to resend something or take it with us.
Aww.
So that part was the best part in helping her out.
Oh, the supportive husband. I love that.
Yeah. And my bonus son, he's so supportive, because when it was time for CJ to get his suit, I was like, yeah, I'm going to come with you. And then my bonus son's like, no, he didn't see your dress, so you don't get to see your suit.
So it was a surprise for you.
It was a surprise for me. Now, I did know the color swatches. Omar, who is the tailor, he knew what my gown looked like, so he could kind of like make sure it coordinated. But once, and I was at his fitting on a sample suit,
right?
But I had no idea what the suit was going to look like once it went on him until the day of the wedding. And
you didn't know that.
I didn't know
inside of it.
I didn't know, and he had my business name on the inside of the suit, and his name was on the inside of his shoes, and
then I had corks.
Yeah, he had corks on the back of his vest, because I'm a wino and Italy wine, and
I'm going to be dropping all the photos up in here. Just
yes,
I'm so excited. Yes,
he had a whole fashion show walking down the aisle to "What a Man" by Salt and Pepper.
Is that what you?
Yes,
I love it.
He picked my song to walk out on. I picked hers.
Oh, so that was yours. What was yours?
Hers was Kim.
No, it was not.
No,
it was her.
It was her.
Every part of me.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all.
And then the song we danced to was "Can't Stop Loving You."
Who's that?
Kim.
Wait. I feel like I know that song. I know Kim, so I feel like I know. Okay.
You know
I'm gonna play it when I hang up. Yeah.
I Can't Stop Loving You.
Okay. I feel like I know it, so.
You know
yes. I know he always be like, girl. He like to say, girl. That's Kim's thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so very much. I'm planning, and it's been requested multiple times for me to have like an interview, like a roundup with couples, and clearly you guys are down, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sign you up for that and let you know when and where to show up. Get some wine and some couples and talk about the things. But you guys did an amazing job. So
thank you.
And tell them what tomorrow is.
Oh, tomorrow is our anniversary when we got engaged.
I know.
I forgot, because the days have been slipping by me, and that might be my fault, because I've got my little wine advent calendar box, and I'm just punching on my days, and it really just slipped by me.
It would have hit you tomorrow when you saw the date. You would have. It would have got you.
I remember. It was also the day we got engaged, and the day we closed on the house.
Yep,
that's right. Oh yeah, you did that too. So
yeah.
Oh, I just love you. I love you. Oh well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So plug your, how can people find you? And then also, if there's one more tip, like if someone is wondering, should I be doing this? Should I have a destination wedding? Some families kind of pushing back, but should I be doing this? What do you guys say?
Okay, so Brittany. Chin Chin means cheers in Italian. Cheers, Brittany. I always cheers
Oh,
my victories, cheers my wins and my losses. You can find out more information about what we've got going on and where we're going to be with Chocolate in a Bottle. We also do wine concierge services. So we do virtual tastings. As you see, we do the whole spread. And with Jamel, he is, see, I told her. So only is, so Sed is he loves food, like I said. So he, does food and wine pairing. He'll pick out a food dish and I'll pair it with the wine, and we'll do food and wine pairing consultations for people. So you can check us out there. And you can also check us out at Amore MCMXXI, Amore 1921. That is the business page, and you will see where to find your chocolate in a bottle in the Carolinas.
so excited. I'll drop those links in the description, everybody.
So biggest advice is have the wedding that you want. If you're on the fence of having a destination wedding, have the destination wedding. Like I said, because you're able to ball on such a budget with a destination wedding. So we were able to do more stuff. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I feel like y'all had like this big pomp and circumstance wedding. And I'm like, because there was more room to do it with, because we didn't have a big crowd, at a destination. You invite everybody, and I've had I had a few people that asked, oh, are y'all gonna have, some people do receptions when you get back, and they asked, are y'all having receptions? And I was talking to my dad about it, and I was talking to Jamel about it, and my dad's cousin was sitting in the room when she heard that. She said, what are we doing? What? She says, no, if you wanted to celebrate with us, you should have brought your ass to the island, and the celebration is on the island.
That,
and we're like, and Jamel and I are looking like, we'll be glad.
Say it, Auntie.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll be glad to have something else, and someone else is paying for it. I will lose a few pounds to get back in that gown. He will get back in that suit. But I would say have a destination wedding, because you invite everybody. You're more than welcome to come. We're not telling no one they can't come, but this is just where it's going to be.
And make sure it's inclusive.
Yeah, we did all inclusive for our guests too, just because it was easier for everybody.
Yeah, it evens the playing field. Once you get there, all you have to do is get there. Just get there, and then you're good. Yeah.
Yes, that's all you have to do. But yeah, we had it. I loved it, and I'm quick to now that I'm a Desti bride, I'm quick to talk someone into a destination wedding. I'm like, you sure about that? Like my brother's
You should.
I'm like, you sure you don't have destination wedding?
I help you.
Well, we're going to a destination wedding in Cancun next year anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're just so excited,
Oh,
So-
well, thank you.
Yeah. So we just hit 6 months. Happy 6 months.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Congratulations, y'all. Look, me too. Yeah, y'all did it. Yeah. No, I'm so happy for you guys. So thank you, for real. Like I've been watching, Brittany. I've been, while you've been working on it. So it's really, really good to see you guys and to know that you've done it, and now you're helping so many more, behind you. So it's a big deal. So I appreciate you being on there.
That's another good tip is reach out to the country where you're going to see if they have a tourism office, to see if they can give you those brochures and all that stuff, because that saved a lot of money there.
Yes. Yeah. That's an amazing tip. You're teaching me things. I learned so much. I teach and I learn, and I learn and I teach, and I love it. So thank you.
I'll send you the information. If you have any more Desti brides that are going to Curaçao, I'll send you the contact information for our point of contact, Khadijah, who sent us those wonderful welcome goodies. And by the time we added a few more things in it, like the stroop waffles.
Yeah.
And that we were good.
That was a big bag.
That was a big bag.
Yeah. That's awesome. So good. So I'm gonna jump into Bride from Brunch.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.